workers. In my own view, any worker that is not being paid up to the amount of work he do, that person is never a happy worker, because sometimes they will not bring out their mind to work, and it's not going to help the company that is working with, because there will be a kind of less productivity. But if the government has come up with this policy that let the working environment be conducive to the workers, make their remuneration be something that at least is tangible, I think workers will not have something to bother about. They won't even think of things to strike or whatever. And the government will also help the government to increase their own revenue. Because as we are working, we are spending the money, and the government is collecting their own tax. So it is a give and take thing. Thank you so much.
So Joseph, hold on. Well, what should they start doing differently moving forward? What should determine exactly what is an appropriate wage range or salary range for these workers? Like you said, a worker is not satisfied with what the person takes home. It can hamper the person's productivity, and we don't want that. Truth is, no businessman sets on to fail at business. So when a business person pulls a workforce together, it is solely because this businessman sees profit and productivity and income and yields at the end of the day. And if it was possible for that businessman to do it all by himself, I am sure some business people will do it all by themselves. But the reality is, no, you cannot be both accountant, manager, storekeeper, security, secretary, PA, what's it called, technical, at the same time. Take the station, for example. There's so many departments that make everything here work. The owner of this station cannot just wake up one morning and say, you know what, I can do everything. No, it's not possible. So he requires talents that will drive the vision, or he or she requires talents that will drive the vision. However, these talents come with a price, especially when these people know the job and they know exactly what they are doing and they are bringing a lot to the table. That is why the recruitment process of some organizations are not mean fit. It's tough. When you come out and you made it, you want to scream, Mama, I made it. Chai! You first buy chi water and say, after all said and done, I made it. I mean, I have been to different recruitment platforms before, and some will require you sitting down to write exams. Then you write exams, you go for oral interview, you pass this level, pass that level, and after all of this, it gets to that point where they say, okay, it is time for salary negotiation. Nobody will want to collect anything less. And while the company may not have tried you yet to know how competent you are or not, they believe with what they have seen, with the process you have had to undergo to make it to that point where they are considering you for employment, it means you have something to offer at least. Apart from the ones that say salary range is between this one and this one. Anything that is not within the salary range I have told you, forget about it. Then it's not left for you to decide whether or not you want to engage or not engage. But the truth of the matter is, realities are changing for the vast majority of the Nigerian populace. Some people till date do not even earn up to the minimum wage as stipulated. No, they don't. And you begin to wonder, when you complain, when the man who is earning 100,000 is complaining that the 100,000 is not enough, what about the person who is earning 10,000 naira? What about the person earning 15? What about the person earning 20? So the idea is, you should be thanking God that you saw a company that could even pay you up to 100,000. Now, I remember something happened, was it last month, when some banks started increasing the salary of their staff members. And I reached out to one of my friends who works in a bank. And I said, how far? I'm sure you're cashing out now. Your bank, how far? And she said, please, let's not even go there. That even if they are going to review their salary in that particular bank, they know what their colleagues in other banks have been earning. It still will not measure up to their colleagues' previous salary prior to their colleagues' salary being reviewed. What that simply means is they believe that in that particular bank they work, they are not getting value, or they're not getting money's worth or salary's worth for the value that they put in compared to their other colleagues who work in other banks. So even if you decide to have 100% increase, it may still not be up to what those other banks are earning previously. So some people know. Some people know that you see this industry we find ourselves. There are companies that are paying more. There are companies that are paying far less. And there are companies that are just, okay. But hey, we're not the ones to start clamoring for a uniform salary range for people that work in various fields. It may seem like, what if the company is not up to that level where they can pay what the others are paying and all that, but at least there should be a benchmark. So what constitutes that benchmark? What current key factors should employers consider before determining appropriate salary ranges for their employees? Mrs. Zion is calling back. Welcome back. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. I have to connect because I was interrupted. Now, you see, when we talk about the minimum wage structure, basically is the government determination of how their citizens should be paid, irrespective of the total number or how large is your organization. It doesn't matter. But we are talking about the welfare of their working force. To be honest, this 30,000 naira as the minimum wage is no longer feasible. What you should be considering now is 80,000 naira per minimum wage. One, we talked about the movement of labor. To be honest, in some organizations, they pay higher, not because they are doing too well, but because of how they mastermind the system and how it should grow. Every organization is a living thing. That is how the business world sees it. So now, you that is employing, for instance, petrol attendants, to be honest, that is one people I pity so much in Port Harcourt. I pity them so much. They are being underpaid and overlabored. They don't give them transport. They don't ferry them to their houses, which is no staff bus, no feeding. Some 10,000, some 12,000. And we are talking about how much is petroleum pump price now? About 690, 590 naira now.
No.
Is it not so?
Yeah, between 590, 591. Basically between 590 to 600 naira. Depends on where you're buying.
And you are paying your staff 15,000 naira. Is it the government? No, look, see how wicked we are in this country. Look at it. Petroleum pump price is 600. Let's say 600. Like some area says 610. And you are paying your attendant 15,000 naira. Do we still call the government here? It all narrows down to with the individual. Most of us, we don't know the structures in setting up businesses. And the government is too lazy to also monitor and observe their business environment. That is why, to a large extent, people are grumbling. The crime rate is increasing. A lot of Nigerians are working. A lot of Nigerians want to do business. But how is the environment? You talked about the locomotives of your business. Now, if D-Square is paying our broadcasters 200,000 per month, I, Mr. Zion Broadcasting, I am paying 140. What is my problem? What is the difference between D-Square Broadcasters and Mr. Zion Broadcasters? Are they not the same people? That is why the government structures come in. In our business environment, it's like a black market. Anybody you can hire that can do the job, fine. And we, the business employers, what do? If you want to work. If no work, make it go. Another person will come.
Okay.
And we, the people, too, can we also observe and understand the business structure? Or we are waiting for somebody to leave? Let us get into it because there is a debt for us to pay. I think the government and the apparatus need to structure up and implement a minimum wage of 80,000 naira per month.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Zion. Muriel from Okrika, welcome to the sunny side. Go ahead.
Thank you. Denise, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Denise, my question is, must they even work? Must you work must you have a white-collar job? Must you work somewhere? You know that the salary is so small. In fact, the people you pity the most are minders in private schools. Want 10,000 naira, and the teachers less than 20,000. So must you work there? Do you know that the ordinary pure water seller is even better than them? The person that says, I don't even call the ordinary. The person that sells pure water is better than them. And a bookie that carries dustbin as close to, I've said it before. One of my colleagues, Aboki was struggling with an ATM machine, and she just stepped forward and decided to help me. He said he wants to check his balance. He sent something and he wants to check. She saw more than close to 2 million in his account. And he's wearing left and right slippers, old torn clothes. So you that is working, every morning you package yourself, wear your old clothes that you've already bought since before you even got that job. You wear that shoe, you continue. You can't even change your clothes. You can't even buy new clothes for yourself. Did they tie you down there? If, you need a capital to start something, work that first month now. Carry that 10,000. Start pure water now. Start fruits now. Do something else.
Muriel, the argument is that business is not for the weak. Do you know what it means doing business in Nigeria? Do you want to count the multiple taxations on some businesses? Do you want to count the levies? Okay, let me just give you an example. You see these people that gather every Wednesday at Oil Mill Market that have been complaining time and time again that by the time they are done paying levies, they are paying up to how much every day they come to that Oil Mill Market? I don't know if you understand that there are risk factors that business owners take that some of the employees cannot take.
It is far better than this job, Denise. When these their poor people come, yes, 500. If it's too much, 500, 300, 100 naira. We go to Mokoro market, I have customers, they give them. But trust me, Denise, that woman that is selling tomatoes in the market and pepper, if you know how much is in their account, then tomorrow we will bounce and then wear starched clothes and then wear cock shoe and go and stand and you're buying tomatoes. And you just look them as this thing because they are packing paper on the floor. If you know how much these people have, if you need capital, just work 1 month and then get yourself. The small taxes you pay will not make you, it will not, trust me, it does not do anything. If it's so much that they can't cope, trust me, they would have stopped. But you go next week, they're there. They're complaining about their pain and they're there. So, Denise, white-collar job, you must not do it. They are not strangling anybody's neck there. If you can't, if it's not enough for you, move out. Look for something else to do.
But away from moving out and looking for something else to do, this one is a known fact. Not everyone is cut out for doing business. Not everyone can do business. There are people who can do the pure water business and excel beyond your imagination. And there are others who will do that same pure water business and they are complaining of low patronage. But the truth of the matter is, for the benefit of all, whether you choose to do business or can you hear me, Muriel? For the benefit of all, whether you choose to do business or you choose to be employed, because the business owner will become an employer. True or false? There should be a benchmark and there should be some factors that are quite reasonable when it comes to determining appropriate salary ranges.
These people, you cannot pay beyond your profit. You pay out of your net profit. Trust me. They pay out of gross profit. And at the end of the day, you want to see that your net profit is taking you to the next level. So you cannot pay at the end of the day everything you have. You can't even see a net profit. So you pay according to how you have. You know that some schools just started and they don't have enough pupils. So you expect them to pay 30,000 And trust me, people are moving their children from this high. If there is.
All right, thank you, Muriel. I have to hear from Perez from Oyibo. Hi, Perez. Welcome to the sunny side. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Didi.
Good afternoon to you, Perez.
I actually laugh at the people that talked about the business owners. It's not easy to be an employer. So many people, but once you carry your rice and beans and come out to the market, you start selling. They just procedures. There are a lot of things you pass through as a business owner. Yes, someone accused private school owners that they pay 10,000, 20,000. And even that 10,000, 20,000 that they are paying, do they have it? That is the question. Because parents are the ones that are paying these teachers. It's not even the professors or proprietors. If parents are complaining of hardship, tell me how would they professors get money to pay teachers? That aside, someone said that he or she saw how a booking man accrued 2 million in his account, and everybody do shoemaking. And if that booking man tells you what he passed through to get that money, you as an listener, can you do it? That is walking from one place to another. You see, most times we don't know what business owners suffer to make ends meet. It's not always easy. So someone said that you give business just to keep to follow government and be paying as government.
Oh my God!
That is when we talk about business and government. There are two different things. Because government already has the resources. You don't even have the resources. You don't even know how it will look like. You come out in a day and you don't know how that day will look like. That's why you are working under a government. At the end of the day, you know how much you will get at the end of the month. The same thing with state governors. They know how much that will come from the federation accounts to them at the end of the year or the month. The business owner will just come in the morning time. He doesn't know. The next thing he do is just to pray to God. So there is no how they will give a benchmark.
Okay. All right, thank you, Parizaya. Didi, good afternoon. Circle to the discussion on ground. My best answer is there's no appropriate amount of salary that's equitable to the service being delivered by work done by any worker because there's no parameter used in measuring salary paid to a work done in Nigeria. Unless we can be using piece rate format or time rate format. That's stipulating amount of work done by time spent. If not, you will find a satisfied worker in Nigeria even though you thought they are earning higher except working with passion. If not, you will never find, I missed it. If not, you will never find a satisfied worker in Nigeria, even though you thought they are earning higher except working with passion. This is the point where the modern liberalism failed because there is no control put on ground to the amount of salary to be paid to a worker. Hence, capitalism as a system of economic has failed. Unless the government should control the amount of salary that's to be paid to a certain worker, I'm done working here. So even if the government steps in and decides to, what are they going to use as the key factors to determine it? It's another thing we should consider. So whether it's government, whether you work in the private sector or you work in the public sector. Someone says employers seek competency from her employee, but most employers don't pay equal to what they seek. And that is why most employees are not giving their best in service delivery. Because of this, they adopt the tactics of hiring and firing as a treat to their employee. My advice is for the guys to think outside the box. Bishop Philip, send that in. Nestle from Parakat says, good afternoon. The issue of limited job opportunities is the reason. The issue of limited job opportunities is the reason for the poor pricing of Nigerian job seekers. And to recreate more job spaces, poor salary scale will still be the order of the day. Could it be why a lot of people are deciding to japa? They are going to other places because they believe that their services will be appreciated more. I think I was reading something about how medical personnel are insufficient for the populace of Nigeria. And then we have our medical doctors leaving this country to move to other climes to go and practice. Now, if you're in HR, you will not pretend that you do not know what is happening. The truth of the matter is, in some companies where there is hierarchy, a lot of the people that are at the head, some of them do basically nothing, but they go home with the highest pay package. Yes, for doing absolutely nothing. What they do basically is create a structure that works, and that structure is what puts everything together. So they hire the best hands to put in so much work while they do almost nothing, and they get paid so much. And the people who have salary responsibility are doing so much work do not earn what is sufficient, do not earn what is equal to the amount of work they put in. Now, let's not even start talking about bonuses and some other benefits that come with jobs, because some companies cannot boast of any benefit other than basic salary. Some companies have employees who do not have pension, they do not have HMOs, they do not have allowances. Some companies still do not give their staff members Christmas bonus. So if either they give you the Christmas bonus in cash or kind, you don't even see a cup of rice at the end of the year after work done. They just tell you, thank you, it was a prosperous year for us. We look forward to a more prosperous year come next year. And we expect loyalty. The value of money now is not the same as it used to be before. So I think it is high time that HR departments of companies pay particular attention. Up next is Trending Stories. This station.
Set your time on Nigeria Info.